Western Dreamer did another great example of a standardbred. And he's a pacer. The first two horses we met were trotters. In case you're wondering, you can't tell by looking at them. You can't tell by the way they walk. You can't tell by watching them left to their own devices in a field or playing with others. Because, on their own, they do whatever they want to do with their legs, more or less. So it's just one of those things. If you're ever interested, if you look up their stats, it usually has a P or a T next to their name, and I'll tell you about that. If you're watching a race, the race usually has some kind of a graphic on screen that tells you whether it's a pace or a trot. And if you really get into it, you can tell yourself, actually, once you get used to what to look for, you can tell right away whether those horses are pacing or they're trotting. Western Dreamer, by the way, is 29 years old, which is considered old for a horse. That's one question we get a lot. And the general answer, how long do horses live? 25 to 30 years. Obviously, there's examples of those who live much longer, those who don't quite make it to 25. And a lot goes into that, just like with people's life expectancy, too. Luck plays a huge role when you really think about it. Horses especially, unlike with people, you can't communicate with them, maybe kind of basically nip problems in the bud like you do with people. Genetics plays a big role. We think he's always had just very good aging genetics. How a horse is taken care of, but more importantly sometimes, how a horse cares for itself. And it may sound kind of weird, but some horses are just more accident prone. Some are easier on themselves than others when it comes to the way they sort of deal with things, their anxiety level. So all these things play a factor, but basically 25 to 30 years is pretty much what we're talking about. Western Dreamer is different than the first two horses we met as far as what people thought he was worth as a youngster. He sold as a yearling. Remember, we're talking about back in the early 1990s, if you remember what money was back then. He sold for $50,000 back then, which I haven't done math in my head recently, but with inflation and egg prices recently, I don't know, that might be $1 billion today, for all I know. He did great as a 2-year-old. That set him up perfectly. They set him up, of course, for the 3-year-old season going into the Triple Crown. The first race in the pacing Triple Crown race is the Cane Pace. He won that race so easily.